What up, YouTube? This is Steven, and I'm back with a news article that I would like to share with you guys. And I got the news article from aramajapan.com, and the title of the news article is AKB48 is now the best-selling singles act in Japanese history. For those of you who may not be familiar with AKB48, um, basically, AKB48 is a female Japanese pop group that has like literally like 48 members in the group. I'm not sure how that situation works when it comes to them performing, them doing tours. I'm not even sure if they tour, um, and as well with the paychecks. Like, how you guys split that? Like, how many different ways? But yeah, they have like this theater that they perform in um, in somewhere in Japan, I believe in Tokyo. I'm not sure though. But yeah, they have this specific theater that they perform in, and they have become very, very popular. And they release music and albums and whatnot, and it's like wow. um, but I recently found out about them. I kind of maybe seen their name being thrown around, but when I heard the name, I kind of thought they were like a Japanese rock group. I didn't know they were the type of group that they were. But anywho, I'm going to read this article, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions as I go. So here I go. By the way, this article is a little dated, but it is extremely relevant. So here we go. On December 9th, AKB48 released their new single, Kuchibiru ni Be My Baby. The single sold 800,000 813,044 copies in its first day. Not even in its total run, like not even in its first week, not even in its total run, but in its first day, it sold over 8,000 copies, taking the number one spot for that day, probably let alone that month. Um, but yeah, I was like, wow, their singles sell really well, like astronomically well. I'm like, how? Like, how are they able to do this? How are they able to get such awesome, astronomical, astronomically high single sales or sales of their singles? Yeah. Like, are they a part of like, the Japanese chapter of the Illuminati or something? Like, what's up with that? Um, let's see. With this number, AKB48 also managed to become the best-selling singles act in Japanese history. So that means they are the best-selling musical act in terms of singles. In terms of singles, they are the best-selling musical act. And some people had some issues with that. I read some comments and people were not feeling that. They were like, I don't really think anyone's going to be remembering their music by next year, or either, there's so many of them in the group. Like, who's who? Let's see. Their total sales for singles now stands at 36 million, or 36 million 158,000 copies. So a little over 36 million copies of their single. And whoa, it's like they seem to be totally unfazed by the current state of the Japanese music industry, or really just the music industry in general. You know, um, Bees, the group Bees, previously held this title with single sales of 35,000. Whoops, 35,000. 35,809,000 copies. and they are followed by Mr. Children's with about a little less than 29 million copies, and then Southern All Stars with about a little over 25 million copies, and then SMAP, I think, with around um, slightly less than 24 million copies. AKB48 has released 42 singles in 9 years, while Bees has released 52 singles in 27 years. Wow. So AKB48, they people buying their music, so I'm guessing they releasing material. Can't hate on them for that. Let's see. The mastermind of AKB48, Yasushi Akimoto, also has a personal reason to celebrate with the first day sales of um, Kuchibiru ni Be My Baby. Be My Baby. He is now the first lyricist in Japanese history to crack the 100 million single sales mark. I guess Tetsuya Komuro wouldn't count as a lyricist since he's a producer, perhaps. But I'm thinking he would be the first one, right? Since his debut as a songwriter in 1981, the sales of the singles he has written for various acts over his career now stands at 100,226,000. So, wow, And he is followed by Akuyu with around 68 million, Matsumoto Takashi about 49 million, Tetsuya Komuro about 42. Oh, I guess Tetsuya, but I'm guessing maybe he wasn't the songwriter, but maybe he produced the songs. But I thought his single sales or his sales of his songs and stuff would be over 100 million. But he has Tetsuya TK is around like 42 million, and Tetsuku is about 37 million. Yasushi has also the most sales at #1 on the singles charts for a songwriter. So let's see. At this point, they're just listing off some more sales data, and I don't feel the need to bore you with more sales data. But the closing lyrics, the closing words of the article are as follows: AKB48 is now the best-selling singles act in Japanese history, but they have quite a long way to go to be the best-selling Japanese act ever. B still holds that title with over 80 million records sold. AKB48's total record sales currently stand about half of that number. So for some reason, their singles just sell like hotcakes with cream cheese frosting on top or something. Like people really like. I want to know like how they doing this. How are they doing this? And some people ain't really feeling it, like I mentioned before, because people feeling like maybe like they haven't really earned their dues, or they're so manufactured, or they're not really an authentic music act, and they're like, why would they don't really feel that they deserve to have a record or to hold a record like this, And I can understand where they're coming from with that, especially when you compare it to like more so like acts that have been in the industry for like decades and have really put in like work into their music and artistry and such and such. So yeah, but at the end of the day, it's about record sales. It's not about the artistry and all that good stuff. It's about the sales, and for some reason people want to listen to what AKB48 has to say. And I listened to like one of their songs. I listened to their latest single, "Be My Baby," and I like the way that it sounds. Their outfits are spectacularly gaudy. I like the way that it sounds. I don't think any of them are like spectacular vocalists from what I heard, but it does have a nice sound with it, like or something like that. And I am happy for them. But again, how does that work with like 48 members in a group? Again, I don't know if that's the total number, but there are a lot of members in that group, you know. um, some people may view AKB48 as what's wrong with J-pop, you know, possibly. But overall, me personally, I don't have any hate or animosity towards them. Even though I kind of wish that maybe another, artist, perhaps another certain female solo artist, perhaps held that record. But hey, there are plenty of records to go around, you know. But again, how does that work with their paychecks though? Like, what their paychecks looking like? Because I know they're selling good singles like hotcakes, but they gotta split that check like so many different ways, because like management and the record label off top getting they cut, and then you gotta split it with like 48 different folks after that, and then some people been in the group longer than other people been in the group. So how your paycheck looking if you just started out and just joined AKB48? Would you be better off working like at McDonald's for minimum wage? I don't know. But I'm interested to know. Also, one more thing that I want to mention. I did a photo analysis of the single covers for their single, Be My Baby. And I'm like, okay, since they selling so many records, they can kind of get away with having like 5 different versions of their single cover. Because some folks be doing that and they ain't even selling over 100,000 copies. You know who who I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Because at one point I was thinking about not doing the photo analysis. Then I was thinking about, well, maybe I should. And then I looked at the record sales. I'm like, yeah, I should do this photo analysis definitely, because people will be checking for this single. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So what do you guys think? You think people hating on AKB48, or do you think people have valid points about AKB48? Feel free to let me know. Feel free to comment, subscribe, thumbs up. Feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Into the next news article. Adios and goodbye for now.